So if you are playing so that your left hand is underneath, you could play it like you would like tenors, where you have a stick over stick crossover like this. So like tenors from drumline. When you're playing, you want to be out of the way so that way you can get your stick up as much as possible without getting in the way. You don't want to be midway through your stick because then you're limited by that kind of motion as opposed to like a larger motion with stick over stick. So you can either play with your left hand all the way over farther so that way you get the stick over the stick, or you can play so that it's open like this. Then it makes it easier to move up and down as opposed to like this. You might have to do like kind of some side swipe weird stuff going on here. So I highly recommend actually making it so you either play with your sticks like this so you're not crossed over, or if you're going to cross over, get it so that your hand gets out of the way of the other hand and you actually just do a stick over stick crossover like you would on drumline for tenors. That's how you do, Phil. In case you're wondering, just kind of drop the sticks a little bit, wiggle them around. The thing that I'm doing right now is finding the trouble spots that I identified yesterday when I was practicing, and then I'm sitting here and working through them. So this was something that we did when I was in large ensembles. Like if we would do like a competition, they'd usually have you like sight read a piece to see like, well, did they just like work on this one piece for 5 years as an ensemble? How good are they actually able to read something they haven't played before? And so what our band director would do was he'd go to trouble spots where he knew there would be some difficulties, and he would sit there and like have us work through it like for a moment or like point some things out. So I'm going to the trouble spots and I'm specifically slowing them down and then gradually speeding them up to my performance tempo and then pushing beyond the performance tempo so that way I can just like mentally be prepared and feel comfortable at performance tempo. Somehow I got totally off there. I was like, wait, am I playing twice as fast? I don't know what happened to my brain. Am I having a stroke? Nope. All right, we're good, I think, question mark, maybe? Stay tuned. 1, 2, ready, and... So the reason why I'm pulling this up is because I want to keep track of like my playing over time. So like the limb independence that I was working on, I want to be able to say, okay, last time I did this at 205. Let's try 206 today. So that way I can go a little bit better. Or maybe I'm going to stay at 205, but instead of making it sound meh, I'm going to make it sound technically proficient or even musical, etc. So this allows me to see over time how I'm doing, how I have changed with my playing. When I was like practicing for like studio and whatnot for college, I would plan out in advance, okay, here are the things that I'm not great at and what I need to work on. I would write them down and then I would specifically go into like the practice room because you'd only have like a limited amount of time, like sign up for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. For this 30 minutes, I'm specifically going to work on this thing or this set of measures or this specific technique, etc. Ugh, got a little hairy there on that ending, which I know is ironic given the state of my head. One of the things that you can do, like if you're injured, improvise with only like 2 of your limbs. So like I'm going to improvise a song using only my feet or using only my tom and my bass drum, etc. So that's another thing that you can do if you are practicing and you have like an injury. So like with my elbow being injured right now, can't play normal stuff. So okay, I'm going to just focus on the left hand with the snare drum and then my feet. Treat your hands and your arms good and you'll be able to play more. If you don't, you won't be able to play. Ask me how I know. Highly recommend doing a stretch and massage routine every single day, if not once, at least twice a day. Like after a little warm up and then later on in the day, maybe even just kind of like lay in bed with your arms up in the air. So if you have a significant other, they can just kind of look at you like, what are you doing? Be like, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get better at drumming. That's perfect. No mistakes were made. Nope. That wasn't a mistake. I know what you're thinking. It's perfect. We're practicing here. Mistakes will be made. That's perfect, right? Shh, don't tell anyone. You're not supposed to share mistakes when you're a musician. You have to be perfect all the time. Which, that mentality is so wrong. That's why there's a lot of anxiety among musicians. Mistakes happen. Own it. If all you did was practice stuff you're good at, you're not gonna get better. Ugh. I should do a compilation of all the random sound effects I make while playing and just like turn it into a song. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. Just like that. Ah. I didn't even intend to do that, and I did it. Whenever you do make a mistake, your goal is to make it so the audience doesn't recognize it by recovering as smoothly and as efficiently as you possibly can. If you need to improvise or vamp for a moment before you get back on the chart, that's fine. If you just sit there and like don't play anything, everyone's gonna know you mess up. If you play at least like the bare pattern, whether it's like if you're doing a bossa nova or something and you play just that part, or if you're just doing some jazz, if you get that, and you maintain that, and you don't play anything else, like melodically with like your other limbs, then at least you have the time going for you, so you can pretend like you didn't mess up. I just realized I was holding my stick like drumline style from, the movie. I never do that. Why am I doing that? No! Hit pause, drop my stick, all the things went wrong. Here we go, let's try resuming. 2 charts ago, I had a mistake and I was able to recover by the end of the line. But then that last chart that I was just doing, it took me like 2 entire lines before I was able to recover. Now, I could beat myself up over that and go, oh wow, that was really bad, like you should slow it down, etc. But the positive is I was able to get back into it and was able to finish much stronger than what was going on when I was making the mistakes. So try and focus on those positives and remind yourself that you're here to practice. You're not here to play perfectly. So because I'm working on stuff that I'm not good at right now, I'm gonna mess up. It's gonna happen. But the fact that I'm able to keep going and learn from those mistakes is the key. That's the thing to focus on. That's the positive aspect of this. Yeah, so I don't know if this is helpful to watch at all, but I figure it's better to share you all the raw how I practice, so that way you can also look at it and go, oh, Jared also struggles with things. Yeah, a lot. I've been playing for a long time, but I still am not good at a lot of things. And you're going to see how I try and work through them. Limb independence is a pretty tricky thing to work on with drum kit. However, I've got some free play-alongs that allow you to practice them. For example, you can work on swung 8th note permutations while playing like an ostinato ride pattern with maybe hi-hat on 2 and 4. And for this particular exercise, you can slow it down in the timestamps to as slow as 40 beats a minute. And you can go down here and go as fast as 240 beats a minute. Whenever you click on the timestamp, it just immediately starts tapping you off. Once you can play through these permutations, there are a bunch of different charts that you can actually play along to work on your short, long limb independence. For example, there are currently 55 charts that are on here for the swung drum charts. All you have to do is click one of the BPMs in the timestamps and allows you to jump to a specific BPM to practice. So if you want to work on your playing with some free play-alongs, there's literally over 1,000 free play-alongs. Go to the link at the top of the screen, or go to my YouTube channel and simply click on the drumming content header inside of the home tab to find all of the play-alongs neatly organized for free.